destructive nature. I was talking to somebody last night. You know, I grew up like really, really poor. Super duper poor. Which I'm really thankful for, by the way. I think there's two things people should do in their life. Number one, grow up really freaking poor. Regardless of the outcomes of what growing up poor consists of, growing up poor is awesome. Number two, being homeless, far away from home, so you're not depending on family or friends or anything like that when you're homeless, to get away from your town or city or state and then be homeless. Learn a lot being homeless. I always tell people, everyone should be homeless, man. Like, you don't have friends, you don't have family, you don't have comfort or convenience, you don't have anything that you would normally have. Everything disappears. There's days where you have to go without eating. You have to like sleep in like the back of like churches and wherever you could sleep. You have to just find water in state parks or county parks or just on the side of like a restaurant or just a place and just use their faucet water on the side of their establishment, you know, that they use for washing pans or washing, watering their lawn or whatever. And you have absolutely nothing. There was this one time I was homeless. I've been homeless several times, by choice or just from insanity, I guess you could say, just from insanity. And there's one time I didn't want to be a part of society anymore. I just was sick of. I realized I couldn't compete with average people anymore. I couldn't compete with them. And I was done competing. And I was done living amongst them. So I ended up just leaving the job I was at. And I just moved far, far away. Galaxy far, far away. And for all you Star Wars fans out there. I was homeless in Missouri, which is like a state in America, for about 42 days in Springfield. And then I just, walked around, went to different locations, stuff like that. And half that time I spent in mental institutions, and the other half I spent homeless. And I remember this one time I'd gone, it was 4.5 days without eating. And I was only drinking coffee. I had enough money to get coffee. I remember this one time, during those 4.5 days, when I didn't eat. I think I was on day 2.5 without eating food. I was sitting on the curb on some road next to a gasoline station, and this woman in this SUV pulled out next to me, and she was just like, "It's your lucky day," and she waved me over, and I was like, "Hello, how you doing?" And she's like, "I'm doing good. How are you?" And I was like, "I'm doing good," and she reached out and gave me a $20 bill. I was like, "Nah, that's okay. I don't need that. But thank you so much." And I just walked away from her car. And she was like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was really on a suicidal mission. That's why I wasn't eating. But I still drink coffee. Because I fucking love coffee. Holla! Merry Christmas, coffee. I love coffee, man. Even if I'm dying, even if I'm in suicidal mode, I'll still drink coffee. It'll probably be like the last thing I do when I die. I'll be like, it was a beautiful life. Hold on, give me 1 second. And then I'll die. Tell my father and mother that I said, drink one more drink of coffee and then die. Yeah, so anyways, so I went like 4.5 days without eating. And I was going on day 5. And I realized that, like, well, shit, I've only been drinking water and coffee, for 5 days now, 4.5 days now. So I'm like, and I remember while I was doing that, I was still walking like 18 to 22 mile days while I wasn't eating, which was really badass. Because that's how I roll, man. I'm like, I'm just not gonna fucking sit here and do nothing. I'm gonna fucking grind and fucking walk 22 miles a day when I don't eat shit. Fuck you. Because that's the proper way to live. I hate laziness, man. I'm not a fan of that at all, man. I grind. Like, I'm a high achiever even when I'm homeless, even when I'm dying, even when I'm on a suicidal binge. Like, I am still a high achiever. For sure. Because I like it. I like torturing myself. It's fun. So, I think that has a lot to do with our illnesses, too. I think that, like, we're a bit off like that, where we're just like, nah, man. Like, I like, masochism in a weird way, where I always have to push myself. Like, I'll be standing on the side of the road. It'll be like yesterday it must have been like 95 degrees or something like that. And I was just like standing there in the heat. And I was just like eating it for breakfast. And like, I'm sure like people were passing by me and they're like, isn't he hot? Like, doesn't he want to ride? Like, oh my God, like what's wrong? And I'm just like standing there and I'm just like, yes. I was just like waiting for the bus and I was just like, that's right. That's how I roll. I'll like wait here for hours in the heat just because I want to. I almost had like 3 or 4 mini heat strokes yesterday because it was just like, I don't know, man. It's better than being inside in air conditioning doing nothing. To be continued.